What's happening, Spider friends? Welcome back to another Marvel's Spider-Man here at Kwings Let's Plays. How's everybody doing today? So we are wearing the dark suit, which was picked up from doing the Black Cat stuff.
Ooh.
And you can see it's got kind of like the Black Widow thing to it, red and black, all that fun stuff.
Attention agents in Hudson Town. Command wants an update.
My ESU ID badge from my semester as a teaching assistant. Didn't have time to stick with it, but I could definitely see teaching again someday.
The update is like, comment, subscribe, or else. Okay,
Hey,
so...
Luke was a teaching assistant once.
Yeah...
You were actually really good at it.
I was okay at it. Oh, JJ.
You night owls may have seen lights flickering out at the Raft Supermax prison last night. Sadly, it was not because one of their inmates got the chair. No. Apparently, someone there hit on an idea I actually think has merit, which is making that recidivist criminal Electro pay for his room and board by powering the prison himself, saving taxpayers' money. Not surprisingly, though, it turns out he hates actual work as much as he loves robbing and murdering, so they had to go back to the city's grid, which I'd imagine is why I still can't run my microwave and toaster at the same time without blowing a fuse.
Yeah, but Electro shouldn't have a choice in that regard. He's in jail. He loses all his rights. He should be, like, the powering the city. If he doesn't like it, tough.
Attention units, we've got a 10-10 possible
Doesn't get a
narcotics
choice
case.
anymore.
Proceed to 2 bridges. Over.
Only free
I mean,
citizens have rights.
I mean, if it's causing him pain, though, like...
It's not causing him pain. He's just...
Oh. If he's just being a jerk, then
He's
yeah.
just, yeah, emotional pain. So today is mostly going to be a little bit of filler with doing some more of the Taskmaster stuff. Because, well, technically Taskmaster is kind of part of the story. Alright. So with Taskman, Master, whatever, we're supposed to go after these little
Taskmaster!
different tasks.
Skeletor! Yes! Oh, it's not Skeletor.
He's kind of like Skeletor, but yeah. Okay,
So we have the cats all over us today, and it is early for Luke. So he's been editing all night, and he woke up to make sure that I wasn't sleeping later tonight. So, yeah. I mean, wait, that sounded weird.
So you wouldn't fall asleep during the videos.
Exactly.
Alright.
So either get one of us tired or the other one, because our schedules are all messed up.
I don't want to talk about it. Okay, so we have to go after the little... What's his face? Little orb guy. Hello, Shadow.
Should
And
I get Zelda from doing whatever she's doing? Oh no, I guess she's okay.
don't worry about it right now, please.
Okay, so we have to go through the orb thingies?
No, the orb things aren't really necessary. I've noticed that they don't really do that much. What you need to do is stay with the drone, and that way when you get close enough to the drone, you can take the drone out and you get more points. If you worry about going through the circle, then it's going to be harder for you to take down the drone.
It's more important to stay near the drone than to go through all the circles.
And then once we get closer to the drone, it should be... There you go. See? 2 points.
Yay.
Well, technically it was 3 points, but whatever.
2 points.
Okay, another task.
Things are sort of under
Oh
control.
my gosh!
Maybe I should put in some Peter
Lockjaw!
Parker time at the lab.
Look, wait, that guy's from the Inhumans?
There you go. Yep.
Puppy.
Selfie!
I've never seen that statue in New York City.
Well, that's not... They couldn't get the, you know, the Wall Street Bowl or whatever it's called due to copyright reasons, but Marvel was like, hey, if we can't get the, you know, New York City accurate thing, let's add a Marvel landmark there, and
Yeah,
boom,
that
there
makes
you go.
it even cooler, actually.
Yeah, it does.
It's more marvelous that way.
Oh, another task. From Taskman.
Taskman!
Mercenaries are about to kill a diplomat. Better hurry.
Come on.
Why do they gotta go after the diplomats? Alright.
I don't know you.
This looks like it's gonna be just a basic beatdown challenge. There we go. That's what we use the spider legs for, and boom, you're done.
And boom!
So I'm getting more adjusted to the combat as we near I have no idea where we are in our series. I think we're getting ready to begin the 3rd arc, which would mean for the story at that point, once you make it to the 3rd arc, I've heard from a lot of people, it's about maybe 2.5 hours left of the game once you get to that point.
Cool. Wow, that means we're getting close to the end then.
Technically, there's still a lot of like side mission stuff. There's one more thing. I mean, hopefully we'll have enough for today, but I would like to look at the... You remember the tombstone guy that Mary Jane infiltrated and stole that tracking information from? The
Yeah.
story continues with, I believe, Spiderman tracking the guy down, and there are also some other bad guys, kind of like the Arkham games that are kind of like bonus missions. Think about like what Two-Face's role was reduced to, even though he was like a main bad guy. I wouldn't say that Tombstone or some of the other bad guys that you go after are, quote, like mainstream, so it's not the same in that regard, but Tombstone is still a pretty big kind of like henchman Spider-Man character.
Yeah.
Usually he worked for like Kingpin or somebody else, but in this one he's just kind of like doing his own thing with a chop shop or something, I don't know.
Yeah.
So the goal today is to do some Taskmaster stuff, maybe progress more of the story, maybe not, we'll see, because the importance of doing the Taskman and going after different tokens and stuff like that is so that we have the option of showing as many costumes as possible besides doing the showcase, because it seems people like seeing the costumes in the actual story as opposed to just like some of the lore videos and things like that, so...
Yep. I like your lore videos, so they're cute.
Yeah, but I'm contemplating just doing like quick showcase videos where I just talk for like maybe 5 minutes and then the rest just be gameplay, just because it's kind of hard to keep up with all this stuff.
Good,
Yep.
but I can do better.
What do you mean you can do better? That's 3 tokens!
Yeah.
You're pulling your punches.
I'm fine just stopping criminals. I don't need to kill them.
Never hold back. I won't.
This guy's got issues.
Yeah, he does.
Well, he's a Skeletor
Is
of
that a
the
good
Marvel
guy?
Universe. No! Taskmaster is not a good
Oh.
guy. It's quite the opposite.
I saw men with guns going in.
Spidey's on the case.
Thank you for telling me that. Men with guns. Okay, I'm not seeing any men with guns. But there is a Fisk building nearby. Remember, there are 2 types of Predator maps in this game. Well, they're kind of like Predators, not really. You have Fisk and you have the demons.
Yeah, I feel like the Taskmaster name is a little weird to go with a guy that looks like that. I think a Taskmaster would be a guy that looks like a big, giant, like Arnold-like teacher with a ruler. It just is weird that he's a... You would think that that guy would be called something like Skeleton Man or Creepy Ghost Dude.
Yuri, this construction site's about as legit as the watches they sell in Times Square.
I don't have evidence for a warrant. You go in, you're on your own.
What else is new?
That doesn't count as a stealth takedown? I'm being stealthy. This game
Yeah.
is just so specific.
I know, right? Like, if they don't see you, shouldn't it be a stealth takedown?
Yeah, I don't even understand why they consider that kind of like...
I literally didn't see that coming.
Yeah, you didn't see that coming yet. You didn't count that toward a stealth thing.
I know, right?
But like, I've noticed, because I've done a lot of these like little bunker things, and a lot of the time, other than just like using stealth 3 times, it's not a very rewarding experience in this game. Like, it almost feels like stealth became kind of like a secondary thing, instead of you just have to ignore the cat. Okay? You just gotta ignore. It feels like stealth just became like kind of a secondary kind of like not all that important aspect of gameplay. It's just something kind of fun you can do, but it doesn't really offer anything at all. And that's kind of a shame with a game like this, because the game should give you options of, hey, you know, we're gonna do some stealth takedown stuff, and then if you want to come down and beat down the enemies, you can, but it doesn't really give you that option, which is...
Yeah, it doesn't give you points always for doing what the game asks you to do.
No, not points. I don't want points. I want, when I completely clear a room of bad guys, I want the option of if I want to stay hidden and take them out and do clever things like use my gadgets to put them up against walls or, you know, do stuff without being seen instead of being forced out into the open like this. I don't like that because there's no way that these guys would see me in the areas that I'm hiding, especially if I leave the scene. If I leave the scene, they should all go back to being, you know, whatever, but we're all contained to... You see the red square on the map?
I got plenty of space.
Yeah.
If I try to leave that area, then that's going to present a big problem, and I'm going to have to do this all over again.
You're gonna have to fight every single one of these guys again?
It would just totally reset it.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's annoying.
Yep, it is. Okay, so go after this.
Yeah, because Spidey wouldn't really charge into like a group of 500 guys and start punching them like he's not invincible.
I wouldn't say there's 500 guys here, but it's, I mean... not every area needs you to do stealth takedowns, but like I'm saying, they should have given you better options with that.
Yeah, like then it would be more interesting ways to take them down.
Unfortunately,
and make it more fun, actually.
Yeah, in that regard though, it's like the Amazing Spider-Man games because they kind of did the wave like guys too, that just like you would beat a group and then another group of people would just keep running in. So that's kind of where that came from. That is not really... Arkham's staple of waves is usually you defeat a group and then it resets the map and then you fight again and the enemies get tougher. The enemy variety, it's not that they're tougher in this game, it has to do with the type of weapons that they use and whether or not the player was fast enough getting their spider sense off or not. Because the spider sense means, you know, you were able to successfully dodge rockets, machine guns, you know, all that other stuff.
Yep.
So it's a completely different gameplay mechanic.
Oh, great, more of them. Guys, Fisk isn't here. You could have just bailed.
They can't bail. They're loyal employees. They're trying to get Employee of the Month. Okay, so... I forgot what wave number we're on. Usually there's about six or seven waves, something like that, and when you reach the final wave, it says final wave. Love those arms, it's fun. And the arms that you guys are seeing, this is not part of the dark suit, as it's referred to. This is not the black suit, this is the dark suit that Cat gives you.
So you added that power onto it.
Yeah, because you can, you know, add whatever spider powers you want. And you can see I'm using more of the gadget wheel. I'm trying to get used to using it without slowing down my combat prowess, but it's still,
It's not the same.
No, it's not the same. And sometimes I still end up making some mistakes too.
It's probably... Is it even more cumbersome than if you would just do it, like, without even using the wheel? Like, is it too annoying
There's no
to
shortcut.
use?
It's not annoying, I'm getting used to it, you know?
Yeah, but
and how they kind of get the player used to using the wheel a little bit is they slow everything down matrix-wise. So that everything gets kind of, they slow down the action just a little bit so that the enemies don't have quite as fast a reaction time to come after you while you're switching gadgets with the wheel.
Yeah.
Bye-bye. Alright, we should be nearing the final wave now. Final wave, no! Oh, I see, I was supposed to perform 10 perfect dodges?
Perfect dodges?
Yeah, so he shoots this at me, I'm supposed to dodge. See? Perfect dodge!
You could perform 10 of them here, I guess.
Yeah, as long as I don't get hit by Mr. Missile.
There's one.
Ow.
Oops.
That's enough of that. Oops. Apparently he was the last guy. My bad. No rewards. Just get one token.
Yuri, I got a bunch of incapacitated criminals and designer narcotics all wrapped up and waiting for you.
Great, I'll just consider this an anonymous tip.
Ah.
Anonymous tip.
See, I would retry that, but you can actually come back at any time. There'll be like this blue, see the circle over there? You can come back here to any of these like factories or wherever, and you can replay these, and it tells you how many tokens that you have left. You can't get all 3 tokens, because you already got one of them, but you can come back and replay any of the challenges at any time during the game, and you can, you know,
Yeah.
Do that if you want.
Cool.
And we have enough for this suit! Ends of the Earth Spidey from Spider-Man Big Time. There we go. The Sinister Six countermeasure suit. So cool.
Sinister Six. The toughest, like, tongue twister to say.
Sinister Six?
I don't know. It's kind of hard for me to say.
And the Sinister Six is like Spidey's biggest concern because it's a group of, at a time, at least 6 of his, I guess, Spider Rogues working together. And there's been different times where it's consisted of like Doc Ock and Green Goblin and stuff leading your traditional bad guys.
Yeah.
Mr. Jameson, I want to apologize. I used to think you were an alarmist, but look what's happened in the city. I'm afraid to walk the streets.
As well you should. And I accept your apology. It's understandable you were bamboozled by the mainstream voices telling you everything was dandy, nothing to worry about. Go out and consume. Don't ask questions. I was a lone voice in the wilderness then, but now more and more people like you are realizing who spoke the truth. And that, my friend, is how we will take our city back.
Let's hope, JJ. Oh, they give this guy way too much airtime.
Oh my gosh, you look like Slade right now.
Slade or Red Hood, kind of.
Yeah, your helmet looks like Red Hood.
Okay, I think it's time to progress the story a little bit.
It looks like the spider on your back hurts, actually.
No,
It's like oh, it looks like it's a mini backpack, I guess.
kind of like a mini bat. It's a countermeasure suit. Like, he has all kinds of gadgets and abilities there to take down all of his rogues if necessary.
That's pretty cool. I kind of like this suit.
Hello? Parker! Just in time to celebrate.
Celebrate? Wait. Where are the arms?
Uh-oh.
Oh my gosh.
So cool. But how did you...
Intracranial neural network. Neurotransmission speeds under 1 nanosecond. Faster than signals travel inside the brain. Never mind to an external prosthesis. We did it, Peter.
Yeah, but
No one can take this away from us.
Amazing.
how do you get them off?
And your work on the neural web was the key.
But we haven't even tested it yet. There's so much we don't know.
It works beautifully. Come on, take a look.
Oh no, not minigames, come on!
Take a look,
This is
Luke.
impressive.
Diagnostics.
Little error, though.
Uh-oh.
I don't want to think about this. This is
Spike.
disturbing.
Well,
Should be an easy fix.
remember one of those warnings that said,
See if that worked.
uh-oh. That journalist, or that stupid magazine said
This is worse than I thought.
that
That stabilized it.
because this technology is, you know, relatively in the early development stages,
The
there's
spike is cascading.
some cerebral problems that can happen with it. One of it being that it drives the person insane. Which technically is what happened to Doc Ock in Spider-Man 2, the Sam Raimi film.
This is bad.
Why does that say
Doctor?
bomb timer?
Doctor, I found a potential problem.
Everything has problems if you look hard enough. But fortune
How does he get it
favors
out
the
of his
bold.
head, though?
Uh-oh.
Wait,
It's time to show the world what we've done.
Otto, the neural web isn't isolating your motor neurons. It could be affecting other parts of your brain, your inhibitions, your mood. I just think we need some more testing. We've done enough!
And there he goes.
I don't feel like a failure. I feel like me.
Otto, you're not a failure. But this could permanently damage your mind. Please.
Right.
why can't you just show it off, though? Like, give the guy a break. Like, let him have...
Don't worry. We're close.
I'll keep at it. Work out some bugs. Go. Go.
You sure you're okay?
Yes.
He's gonna wait till he's gone and then he's gonna do it again.
Thank you, Peter. For everything.
Yep, he's gonna do it again. He's basically saying goodbye to Peter, I think.
Where Mayor Osborn is about to address the media.
Martin Lee is now behind bars. When I make a promise to this city, I keep it. The people of New York
I knew
will
it.
soon make a decision that could change the course of this city forever. So when you're casting your vote, remember what I've done.
Right through the TV.
We're all safer now than we have ever been.
I knew it! I knew he was gonna do that. That's what I would do.
You have no idea what you're in for.
He's gonna attack Norman Osborn, I think.
Yep, so they did this different. The arms aren't driving him crazy. His brain can't control...
Like it's messing up the synapses in his brain.
Exactly. Whereas you could argue that the arms of Dr. Octopus in Spider-Man 2 were sentient.
Yeah. This one, it's like messing up with the brain chemistry, so it's not thinking right.
Exactly.
Which is interesting because there's actually a lot of technology that does that, but I don't think I should say it, but...
Hey, Pete. Hi, Miles. I just wanted to see how you're doing with the news about Lee. Look, if you didn't want to work there anymore, May and I would understand.
I did want to quit when I heard. Then I remember what my dad used to say. A hero is just a guy who doesn't give up.
That's true, assuming he's doing the right thing. I got you that job. I'd hate for you to keep doing it if you think it's wrong.
Oh, the people here... Nothing Martin Lee did is their fault. They need help and I'm helping them. I think Dad will want me to stay. I think he'd be proud.
I know he would. And Miles, I'm proud of you too. Anytime you want to talk, just call.
Thanks, Pete. Gotta go. May just gave me a list of all the supplies to get. Alright, later.
Good
Wait,
job, Miles.
Does he get paid? It's a volunteer, because how is Mr. Lee gonna pay anyone if he's not there?
We actually need to reset because it keeps saying something like bomb counter.
Yeah,
Glitches
actually,
happen in this game.
there's a lot of technology that
Sure hope
messes
May's
with
handling the Lee
brainwaves,
arrest okay.
but... Like, I don't know, I wish, like, but... Like, Wi-Fi and stuff does, which is weird. And that's why people keep saying, like, all this technology is eventually gonna start affecting humanity. Maybe it already has. Radio waves, microwaves, any kind of waves actually affect your brain. That's why,
Captain. You got the City Hall bomber.
like, you shouldn't have your phone near you when you sleep
Tomato,
and stuff.
tomato. My point is, you've been burning the candle at both ends lately. You should take a vacation.
I'm not exactly the tourist type. But once we've rounded up the rest of Lee's people, maybe I will. No planes, no suitcases, just uninterrupted sleep.
Oh, you are a party animal. But hey, whatever floats your cruise ship. Or doesn't. You've earned it.
So one thing I would like to see the games explore that they haven't really done with Yuri's character, Yuri is supposed to be kind of like a Batman character, in a sense. She becomes like a spoiler-esque type character, or Cassandra Cain, like vigilante, known as, I believe it's the Wraith.
Yeah, but isn't it fascinating that our brains literally work like a giant computer with little synapses just like an electronic board? It's just interesting that our brains work just like a computer does. That's why that technology does affect his brain, like in this, you know, game, in the story, and in real life too.
Okay, so I don't want to go and continue the story right now. I'd like us to do... Let's take down a demon base, just because the base icons, you know, they'll help us go toward our next suit unlock, and I'm really happy that we were able to get this suit, because it's actually one of my favorites. Even though it looks like Red Hood, you know, with like spider powers, it's a really cool suit.
So, you're saying Yuri becomes a vigilante, or...?
Yeah.
Well,
she takes over from another vigilante that gets killed that she knew. She replaces her to keep up the guys that, you know, this woman vigilante is almost immortal.
Oh, wow.
I believe it was a friend of hers or something who ends up getting killed and she takes over for her.
That's actually pretty cool. I wish I had a vigilante friend.
It happened during Dan Slott's run of Spider-Man, so starting like 2010, I believe it was? Yeah, 2010. Spider-Man Big Time, I think, was his first real thing. And another thing, pointless trivia, I'm pretty sure that Dr. Octopus in this game looks exactly like Dan Slott. I think that...
Oh, really?
Well, he's the writer in this game. And he was
he made Dr. Octopus himself?
No, Insomniac made him look like Dan Slott, because Dan Slott is a huge Dr. Octopus fan. In fact, he did a lot with Dr. Octopus in his Marvel run.
You really feel for Dr. Octopus in this because he's such a sweet guy.
Hi!
And
we can fight, or, hear me out, we can barbecue!
He just wants to prove that his work was right because he's been pushed down every single time by Norman Osborn.
Yep.
Taking his ability to just... Because he's been working on this, and it's like, it feels like all his work is for nothing. Like his whole life, all his work, because he keeps taking his funding.
Yep.
And he could have, like, changed the world, like, a million times over.
Brisk out here. Better go in.
Well, what we've talked about before is Spider-Man villains, they're created based on, you know, circumstances.
And without further ado...
So, you know, he had lack of funding, he had, you know...
He's angry about his circumstances.
He has a disease.
Whereas Batman villains are actually driven insane.
Psychological,
MJ,
yep.
I'm at the third location. Apparently it's casual mask day at the office.
Oops.
Finally, a job where you'll fit right in. Until you start with the face kicking.
Yeah, I have a feeling HR's not gonna be too happy with me.
See, I already kind of messed it up. I didn't notice how it said, stealth. Like, so I'll never be able to achieve that now because there's no way of... Even if I web zip to the top of the ceiling, whatever wave of guys comes in, they're gonna see where I am, so...
Yeah, I was just thinking, if Dr. Octopus was a Batman villain, he would be this angry at Mr. Osborn, but he wouldn't have snapped yet. It would take something horrible to happen, like, right in front of him that he couldn't come back from. Like, Norman Osborn would have had to, like, kill his daughter in front of him or something after all this, and then he would snap, and then he would never recover. Like, or something like that. That's usually what happens with a Batman villain, is... like psychological trauma that you can't even recover from.
Yep, because Harvey Dent was dealing with like duality issues, kind of like Norman Osborn and some of the other characters. However, what caused his problems to be risen to the surface was, you know, he had the acid sprinkled on half his face.
Yeah.
Which completely ruined him.
It ruined his whole vision of himself. Like, he didn't even look like a person anymore. He didn't look like himself, for sure.
So Green Goblin, he's had a couple things happen to him. I would say that Sam Raimi's version is kind of, it plays to both psychological and also, like, circumstance thing. You know, he was gonna lose his company and all that other stuff. But for the longest time, my favorite version of Doc Ock had to be, the Sam Raimi one. Because, you know, he and his wife were working together, she accidentally got killed during the experiment, and then his arm somehow became sentient.
Yeah. And then didn't he want to resist it, but he couldn't because the arm was taking over? Or something like that?
He was definitely going crazy because he was going through grief. Like, he lost his wife, like, in that explosion that created those arms.
Yeah.
Good, because these other guys...
That's like... Oh, I was thinking about that one Flash villain lost his wife too when he was working on a project. Oh my gosh, I can't remember the guy. Oh, the guy that duplicated into other people. He also lost his wife.
But I don't think they're really bespoke.
The hipster assassins are gonna be so disappointed.
Hipster assassins.
Oh, I see. Mary Jane makes fun of hipsters also. I like her. I actually don't mind Mary Jane, like the character as a person. I just don't see her like she's Mary Jane.
I'm glad to see more of you. It's... Oh no, wait! It is that I'm not glad to see more of you.
Like, I could be friends with this person in real life, but she doesn't feel like Mary Jane to me.
But you can see how well that the, the gadgets and stuff work, but... And I'm not saying they could patch this, but for the second game, what I would like to see, because the story, it has stakes, it's pretty entertaining to watch, even if it's predictable. The combat is fun.
More demons. I don't suppose we could settle this with some
Most of the side missions are fun, but some aspects of the side missions do get pretty monotonous and a little boring. But the combat that we're doing right now, it's fun because you can switch between stuff. Had they just fixed the ability for players to choose how they engage the characters with each of the waves, then, you know, it'd be a little bit more interesting. Instead, it just becomes kind of like a chore. Like, okay, you have to fight like this many bad guys, and then, you know, afterwards we'll see how you did and we'll give you a score based on that.
Yeah.
And by the way, the only way that you can attack them is you have to just do it like this. You have to engage. You can't, like, go up to the steel girders above you, hang up there, and just pick people off because they don't see you. So that was what's cool about how well the Batman games triumphed between stealth and actually confronting people.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that they didn't give Spider-Man that kind of like the fear takedowns that Batman had in Arkham Knight. I didn't really like those because it kind of added almost like a supernatural ability for Batman, because he's this dude who's completely human. He wouldn't be able to do some of that crazy stuff that he did at Arkham Knight where he could like target 3 people at once. He just wouldn't have the human ingenuity and the reflexes to do that.
Yeah.
Spider-Man would, and Spider-Man did have an ability like that in one of the either Amazing games or might have been Edge of Time or something like that. But that would make sense because of his like spider agility and his spider sense and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, he has his own strengths that Batman doesn't have. They both have different things, yeah.
But like this guy, he's all by himself. Even if we went upstairs, like, and hit on those steel beams or anywhere, you notice that the enemies will have like a little red icon knowing that they're alerted to your presence.
Yeah.
So there's no way that you can ever complete those takedowns or anything like that.
MJ, call the police. I've got the place secured.
Nice job. Anytime we can get guns off the street, it's a win.
That is true. So instead of getting 3, we got 2. But like I said, you can always come back and replay this at any time. However, you would still have to go through and complete the entire warehouse again. You can't just get the icon and... Uh-oh, glitching.
Red Hood Spidey.
Red Hood Spidey is glitching a little bit. See how it's flashing?
Oh, I thought that was like light flickering on him or something.
No, he doesn't have any like lights on him. Aside from his visor. But anyway, guys, that is going to do it for today's episode. Join us later as we'll continue more of the story and try to track down Tombstone at the same time and see if we can take him down. But thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you later on Kwings Let's Plays.